Hi, my name is Maru, and I'm the founder of Awakening Games, and you're listening to Awakening Games Dialogues. Hi there. Today we're going to talk about if our life is not the way we want, we can actually associate our life not being the way we want with many stories, many logical reasons why our life is not the way we want it to be on any level, or maybe on all levels right now. However, to be honest here, the only person that can actually fulfill our needs is ourselves through others. And in order to do that, because we are all interdependent, as much as we are afraid to recognize this truth, we can never be fully dependent and never fully independent. But when we are on either polarity of being fully independent or being fully dependent, we are doing so because we are using other people as our excuse for not having our needs met. On a deep level, on the level that is important to us. Maybe we have been shamed and blamed and felt guilty to ask. Because you see, when we are not connected empathically to others, because we're not connected emotionally to ourselves, fully, authentically to ourselves, it becomes very difficult to understand what other people are really asking when they are talking or fighting or, And this happens because we are not connected with ourselves either. So we do not know how to ask for our needs to be met, because we do not understand what kind of needs we really have. I was inspired today by a beautiful conversation I had with a potential client today and business co-worker that we can help grow our businesses together. And I realized that he was asking for funding for his company. And in reality, what he was really asking for was to actually have a person that will understand what he needs for himself to become in order to open up to all the solutions he's looking for. And instead of being able to see his need, he labeled this as needing an investor. And although he actually admitted himself that an investor would not be something that would work for him at this point, because then he would be an employee again. And his aim is to become fully free, business-wise, financially, not needing to exchange his time for money. I was also inspired to create this audio today because of another experience I had with one of my friends that we had the intention to work with in the past, but never seemed to find a way to actually work together. And what happened was this: he told me, "I need you to bring me clients." And I told him, "I cannot, even if you are my friend, unless I experience what it is that you do." You see, I was not able to express to him that only when I have fully experienced the being taken care of by him, can I actually vouch for him and then advertise him to others. And what happened was this: he did not feel heard. So he was reactive and I felt defensive because I didn't feel heard either. And in that moment, instead of closing up, I experienced the closing of my heart and being defensive, and instead I opened to making space for me to be able to hear him. And once I did make that space, I understood that I just needed to be feeling safe in my body. The moment I felt safe in my body, he actually automatically came up with a solution. You see, although I cannot get into detail about the solution because it's still a work in progress, what happened was this, that he understood a need that I had, that I wasn't even aware I had, by actually acknowledging his need and wanting him to understand that I can help him. So his response at the moment when I actually allowed my body to soften up and be open was something that created a win-win outcome. So from reactivity, we actually created an idea that now is put into action. The reason why I'm actually sharing this information with you is that sometimes some people have a very hard time to receive, which means we will not go into the actual need without feeling safe to receive, because we have already decided that it's not safe. Therefore, it is wrong to need. So, in this case, what we tend to do, is we tend to camouflage our needs with stories or definitions that don't even make any sense, because we have not learned to be vulnerable and we are not used to being taken care of by others. We are not used to having others look for our best intention and take care of us without us needing to actually express this truth. Like, we expect others to understand our needs and cater to our needs without being able to first understand what kind of need we have, and therefore after that express it and share it and become vulnerable. And the reason why we do this is because we are living life in the protective mode. So if your life is not the way you want, maybe you can see what happens when we feel like a baby and we just allow somebody to guide us, take care of us. Is it comfortable? Why do we have to be in a difficult position to allow to receive? Why can we not receive? So if you're in a moment, if you're experiencing life at the moment and finding it difficult to express your needs, and you feel that this universe isn't generous, well, there's a big chance you are protecting yourself from generosity. And this makes sense because, like we saw the other day in a session I had, was this, that we've always exchanged something that we think we want, and we actually have really persuaded ourselves that we want with something else that's a lot deeper. That's a big fear. So, an example of which is this: if I do not have the things I say I want, and I say I want them, there's a little lie there, because there's another issue that's underlying, that's a deeper and a more powerful unwant. So if the example is I want a relationship, I want money, I want success, I want an actualized life, a fulfilling life, that's my intention, and I don't see me moving towards that direction, or moving very slowly, chances are that the biggest, deepest unwant is shame and guilt. And cognitively, we can all understand this. However, if we do not experience this shame and guilt on an emotional level to see how powerful it is, we will be continuing to lie to us with stories and reasons and excuses of why we haven't done enough yet to get where we want to get. Meanwhile, we are actually hiding from experiencing a very profound and uncomfortable situation that is a negative, quote-unquote, emotion, which is guilt and shame. And when we are avoiding to feel guilt and shame, and it would just be logical to, right? It's only logical that we would do this. We actually do it because in guilt and shame, what we are actually experiencing is, and saying to ourselves and feeling, is that we are not worthy of being loved. So if this resonates with you, we have actually exchanged not having the life we want with being loved. You see, we are escaping, avoiding to feel shame and guilt, because if we feel shame, then we will realize that we're not loved. And because we do not want to realize that, we prefer to avoid it at any cost, even if that cost means not having the life we want. And this comes from pride. We are too afraid to have our ego hurt. We are too reliant or codependent on what others think about ourselves, about us, but we have not realized that maybe we actually have lied to ourselves in saying that we don't really, we're okay with judgment, we're okay with negative feedback, we're open to having people reject us or judge us, and maybe cognitively we might be agreeing with ourselves, but if we feel it emotionally, and in order to understand if we were lying to ourselves, we would need to do this. If it's true that I'm not afraid of being judged, abandoned, and rejected, then can I think of one person at least in the moment that I would need them the most? If they rejected me or judged me or abandoned me, would that hurt? If the answer is yes, then I have lied to myself. I do care about what people think about me. But you see, we have a very, very quote-unquote smart way of hiding from ourselves and lying to ourselves. And so we are really needing to question everything we think about ourselves to actually see if it really is true. And the only way to see if something is true is to look at our outer world mirroring this truth for us, back to us. So in order to simplify things, whatever we say we want and we do not have yet means that there is something that we are exchanging, avoiding to feel right now, that is a lot more important to protect ourselves from than actually having what it is we say we want. So remember this: whatever you say you want so much right here, right now, remember, the only way to unlock this is to ask yourself, what is it that I'm hiding from myself right now and I'm escaping? What emotion, what feeling, what information do I not want to feel? That is actually something a lot more intense, so that I don't want it more intensely, right? So I might say I want a relationship, but if my unwant is much more powerful, then I keep lying to myself and saying I want a relationship, and I keep myself remaining single. If I say I want a business, I want financial abundance, and there's a deeper and more intense unwant, example, responsibility of stress in an unknown environment or learning new tools and techniques, if that is more powerful, more intense, then I will not have a business. And in order to unlock this, we would require to feel more and more comfortable with feeling our negative emotions, because we have all been programmed to not feel. And this is exactly what is holding us back from unlocking and becoming the person who is experiencing the life we want on all levels. So, the next question would be, when does this shift happen? Because it can happen on its own. And the answer is this: we do get to a point that we get so tired of fighting and so tired of trying that we might end up saying, okay, you know what? Forget about it. I don't need anything. And in that moment, we release the want, and we also allow the space for the unwant in that moment to come up, because we've given up. So that's when the two polarities, that one is pulling one way and one is pulling the other, stop pulling. That's one way to do it. The other way is when our want becomes so powerful and we decide that we are ready to see everything and anything that we're hiding from ourselves. And in that moment, we have just called in our fear. And that's when what we have been feeling as the opposing energy, the antagonistic energy, pulling the opposite direction, is revealed to us. And this, underlying energy that is a lot more powerful, that is our subconscious part of ourselves, is usually fear, if not always. Because you see, even when it's shame, it's the fear of shame. Even if it's anxiety, it's the fear of anxiety. Loneliness, well, it would be the fear of loneliness. And then there's a third way where we can actually just communicate with ourselves and hack our reality if we want to. And if we don't know how to, we can ask for help. You see, asking for help and asking for what it is we need gives a clear map to those around us, but ourselves included, to what it is that can be given to us. And many times it's wonderful and beautiful. We may not need to even express our need. It can just happen and come on its own, like I told you before in the example. Actually, both examples, because the one was receiving the information from my potential client of a need he did not understand how to express, and we decoded it for him. And the other one was when it happened with my friend that understood my difficulty in a way that was rewarding at the end with an actual product to solve the problem. So, the other reason why I love needs is because they help us become more vulnerable. To become vulnerable means we open ourselves up to people without knowing if they will be able to take care of ourselves, to take care of us, or want to function in our best interest, but still give them the choice to choose whatever it is they're going to do. because maybe they can just surprise us. And when we are ready to become vulnerable and honest and authentic with ourselves and our real needs, that's when we are actually open to receiving. Because in that moment we have allowed for the emotional process that's keeping the need unmet, which is shame and guilt, right? Once we allow for those two emotions to be processed, then the actual need is revealed. And when we are able to clearly see the problem, which is a need unmet, we are actually linked and synced with the solution. Need met. But you see, we do not suffer from unmet needs. We suffer from not wanting unmet needs to exist, because we do not want to feel the pain, and because we do not allow to feel the negative emotion, we get stuck there. When we allow to feel the absence of a need, what happens is we actually come closer to ourselves and connect on a deeper level with ourselves and own more emotional responsibility of this unmet need. And thus, where there was a void before, now there's presence. And from here, having felt the negative emotion of an unmet need, we have transmuted what was a gap of unlove to being love. And now we have become the solution of our unmet need. So, if you want to really give you the life you know you deserve, you want and you can live and experience and have, then you can ask yourself this question: what is the emotion, the feeling that I'm avoiding to feel in order to integrate, become whole, and allow me to become the version of myself that is, has, and does exactly what I call an actualized life? Once I am able to go and grow through these emotions and feelings, that's the only time I need. Everything else is just an excuse to just get stuck in time. So for anything you need and you want fulfilled, are you willing to go and grow through what you have been protecting yourself against until now? To feel, integrate, and become the version experiencing the life you are aiming at? If your answer is yes, then you are ready. Thank you for your time. I so appreciate you. If you would like to find us elsewhere as well, make sure to subscribe, like, comment below, and follow us on social media. All the links are in the description box below. And here is where you will also find our free audiobook of our technique. Make sure to download it and tell us what you think and feel. We so appreciate your feedback. If you are interested in game shops, do let us know by choosing your game. We will be constantly updating our links in our description boxes in all our audios. And if you are interested in a one-to-one setting, do reach out. We will be happy to invest our time in you and make sure this is a win-win outcome. For anything else, you know where to find us now. Thank you for your time. I wish us all love,